Welcome to another episode of Conning Detrimental. Dan Lust, joined on this lovely Sunday evening by our guy, Mr. Non-lawyer, non-JD, not even trying to pursue a legal path, our guy, Conlan Farrell.
Yes, Dan, welcome. Good to be on with you, even though, again, that's your only slight against me. Obviously, my wealth of sports knowledge and wisdom and betting info and picks to win are all abundantly higher than yours. But look, the law degree, no, I don't have one. Zero, goose egg. So you got me there, Lust. But let's talk to it. Let's talk to our audience. I feel like you and me haven't teamed up in a while. So I'm happy to be on with you. Sunday night, we're going to be releasing tomorrow morning. Fresh cup of coffee. Fresh cup of lightning Monday morning. Our listeners are going to get to sit down and listen to this.
Well, here's the thing, Conlan. For those that don't know, our new listeners, Conlan was with us throughout the NFL season, always giving picks. For the most part, pretty good. But we had a bet at the end of the year. If you didn't pick the right Super Bowl winner, you'd be banned from the show. So I've decided to lift the ban. I've missed you, Conlan. I do.
Yeah.
I do miss our chats. You and your new fancy sports job. Do we call it a sports marketing job? Is that the genre? Where's your
No,
job?
not necessarily sports marketing, but more so social media strategy for sports figures, athletes, broadcasters, different things like that.
From big people, some A-listers, bigger than me.
Some A-listers, yes.
Yeah.
And A-listers. And even though you're not on there, I still consider you an A-lister. So that's why I'm sitting down with you.
I would say relative to your top guys that you work with, I'd be generous to even put myself in like the D level. Like you got some real A-listers you work
So
with.
you're talking about like that scene in Moneyball with Brad Pitt's talking about like their payroll is like there's the Yankees, you know what I mean? All the big teams. Then there's 50 feet worth of crap, and then there's us. Now I'm not going to say you're 50 feet worth of crap. That's not where I'm going.
Yeah, you got to be careful there. I can put myself down. You just put me in a pile of crap. I mean, like,
yeah. Well, I don't want to see it like that. But there's several rungs above you that I work with in the sports world. Yes, I would confirm that.
The truth hurts, and the truth is also an absolute defense. But it is what it is. Conlan, thank you for spending some time. For those wondering where my voice went, I had the lovely opportunity today to bring my daughter to the Mets game. Her first. She turned 3.5 on Friday, I think if I'm getting my days right. And then she wanted to go to the baseball game. Guess who gets to go to the baseball game? My kid. I'm not a Mets fan, but I do prefer Citi Field over Yankee Stadium.
Really?
Proximity. Yeah, Citi Field's where it's at. Are you a Yankee fan? I forgot.
Of course. Come on.
Of course.
Winner like me.
You're
Yankees
from Jersey. Like, I have no idea what
yeah,
Jersey
listen. So it's weird because I'm a Yankees Jets fan, which oftentimes the pairing would be Mets Jets, Yankees Giants. But listen, now
like cursed
the Yankees
franchises and then like good franchises.
Correct. So with that being said, however, I mean we'll get into this as we go, but the Yankees right now sputtering a little bit as the Mets are. You know what I mean? The Yankees lose 2 out of 3 in Tampa. The Mets lose 2 out of 3 to the Colorado Rockies. So both. So you went yesterday, you said? So you saw a Mets win then?
I went today.
You went today.
I had the under 12.5. And
that was dead.
Well, I had the under 12.5 amongst the same game parlay. That would be helpful because I'm not betting minus 500, 12.5. But somehow I did lose it. And it wasn't even that close. It was like, was it
13-6? Yeah. So the Colorado Rockies single-handedly busted your under there, Chief.
Yeah.
That's a good start. But your voice a little shot. What happened?
Well, I guess a couple of things, but I'll lay up some context here before I get into some stories. But okay, let's do this so people know what we're doing today. Normally do the roadmap early. So I think what we do well on Conduct Detrimental is we have very unique content. Nobody really covers what we do. And we have enough people. We have an NIL episode here. You know, Dan Wallach and I will get together there. And we always have something brewing in some facet. The problem with being a show that's relying on sports law news, we're not really a sports show. So like we can't record every Monday because like what they do during football season, you know, Simmons, Russillo, the Part of My Take guys, you name it. I listen to a lot of podcasts. But so our recording schedule has been pretty unpredictable since we've joined forces almost 3 years ago, really, almost to the day 3 years ago. So Conlan, behind the scenes, I called you up and I'm like, listen, the new job, and if you want to ask me about it, happy to get into it. I've been here since September. I'm the head of the sports department at my firm. Busy is good. Now I'm not just like basically a full-time social media guy, part-time lawyer. You know, I'm running the department here. I'm billing a ton of hours, you know, bringing in clients to the firm, speaking here, speaking there. And I'm like, you know, I've got to lay up the reins a little bit. I got to bring in good people around Dan Wallach and myself to help carry the torch a little bit. open casting call. Again, anybody wants to get involved in conduct, we are always open. You just got to reach out to us.
Hit that line.
Condetrimental at Gmail. But anyway, I digress. Conlan, I hit you up and I'm like, listen, my schedule is becoming such where I need to really schedule things out. So I'd like to try, if we can do this again, we'll see how good we are at it. I'd like to record with you every Sunday, release every Monday, kind of do a recap of sports that week. Conlan, you're our sports guy. I might not be able to record a podcast every day, but I'm certainly betting on sports every day. I'm doing something, betting on sports, futures, series. So Conlan, like, listen, I know you already accepted, but you think you can hang with me every Sunday night? You think we can do a recap, maybe a little bit of picks, a little bit of hang, a little bit of law in here too? You're gonna have to hang with me there, but
it'll be potpourri. It'll be potpourri. Yeah, no, absolutely. Listen, it's always a good time when the two of us get together. Certainly, like you just said, I'll reiterate, every single day I am tuned in. I'm locked into my phone and I'm looking at the lines coming out and stuff like that. We'll get to our better betting sponsor later on, our boys at Better Edge. We'll talk about them a little later on today's show.
I'm seeing them this week.
Yes, you're going. That's awesome. But yeah, so like you said, I'm locked in on a day-to-day basis. I got the hockey on in the background right now. Listen, you were at the Mets game today, taking the under 12.5, which I know the line was the regular game line was over under 8.5. So you juiced yourself up and still lost.
Again.
But you know, I mean, we're not gonna pile on Dan. That's not the premise of today's show. But yeah, let's check in once every Sunday. It's the way to go. We used to do this for football with the betting picks and different things like that.
I used to talk to you every couple of days.
I appreciate that. And then
now you're like
one big game. Yeah, I will lose one big game and you cast me off. You have me walk the plank. What's that about? What's that? Because
I don't know. You made an ultimatum on yourself. You lost. There has to be consequences.
Listen. I know I'm going to lose the legal battle here, as you already stated in our opening, but I don't remember it going that way. Specifically,
listen, on this show, I'm kind of like the judge, jury, and executioner, and like not really going to stand a chance. But I'm a generous king. I bring you back in because I like you, Conlan.
Okay.
He asked me where my voice went. And again, this is like, well, I'll tell you the story, and then I'll explain what I'd like to do for the show, and it could be a lot of different things, but a lot of legal advice, a lot of sports advice. Conlan, you're in the biz now. I'm helping build out a sports practice. I speak at schools. I speak to law students all the time. I can't speak to as many law students as I once was able to. So if I could give out advice to the pod, that's fantastic. And the numbers are great, Conlan. I should say before I tell you a boring story about my bowling story. Where we've just coming off the best 3 months in conduct history. So I love seeing it.
And is that another subtle jab at me because I've been away? So it's the best 3 months in conduct history. Yeah. And all of a sudden, I see. Yeah. You don't fool me. You got a pool table in the background. You're trying to be this old wise sage. All right. You're not getting anything past this. All right. Come on. Get on with it. Get me into this story now because I'm sick of hearing how great we're doing. No, I'm not sick of it. I love to hear that Conduct is doing great, and the brand is growing. That's all we want to see. And like you said, open invitation, open party, hit the line. Anybody can join. But come on, get into the story about how you lost your voice screaming and yelling at Frank the Tank at Citi Field today.
No, I didn't do that. But no, like we just moved, Conlan. We've been in this house for about 2 years. And you know me, I have a 3.5-year-old. I have almost Sloan is like 20 months. But you move to a new town, I guess my friends who, are still in the city, still in New York City, still haven't bought. They're like, how do you meet people? And it's like, you really just meet your kids find friends at school and then you're friends with them. So, me, I'm a sports guy. My wife is not really a sports person, but she respects that I am a sports person. So Conlan, what does she do? She's so sweet. She takes all the new parents, all of the 3-year-olds parents. She organizes like a little night. And where do we go? We go to the bowling alley, dollar pitchers. We threw it back like old school. And your boy,
So where were all the 3-year-olds? They were the DDs?
They're
the little
not
Texas cars?
You think the 3-year-olds are the designated drivers?
Yeah, it was a joke. Jeez. Oh my God.
No, we got babysitters. Yeah. We had the parents that were back to babysit. But yeah, I mean, listen, we have by bowling on Saturday. I had Citi Field on a Sunday. This is a busy sports weekend here.
Yeah, this sounds like it sounds like a different Frank the Tank. If one of the greatest movies of all time, old school, when Will Farrell is like not trying to be in the fraternity when they're starting with Vince Vaughn and all them, and he's at the party and he's like they're trying to get him to do a funnel. He's like, no, I got a nice little Saturday plan. So it's like Dan Lust, nice little Saturday. We're gonna go to the bowling alley. We're gonna do a $1 pitcher, and we're gonna relive, our heyday. Which I don't know for you now. Again, you look like you're steady, like 31, 32 years old since I've known you, and now we're going on like 3 full years of knowing each other. So you
Yeah,
have an
that's
age, which is kind of a good thing.
that's kind of how math works. Like when you meet someone, they're a certain age, and like years
No,
pass. And
no, I've said you've stayed the same age. I didn't say that you've aged. I said you
no,
said like 30.
I'm teaching you like you can't stay the same age. It's just like
I
addition, my
Yeah,
man.
yeah, that's where we're the humor here is going to struggle here. If you don't let me finish, you're always you're lawyering me. You're lawyering me. And like Marshall Erickson and How I Met Your Mother, where he always just goes lawyered to Barney and stuff. That's
Ooh,
like
Lord, yes, yeah.
your stick here. All
Um,
right, so Mets game today.
Yeah, no, we're not talking about the Mets game. This were the general thoughts I had for this pod, and I guess moving forward, right? So, we always want to bring content, and I want to bring people, there, and especially in my world, Conlan, I started doing this version of sports law in 2019, so it was about 4 years ago. Prior to that, I really didn't. I was kind of doing my thing, billing hours in the background. But from 2019 onward, I would talk to a lot of law students, a lot of pre-law kids that end up going to law school. And this is really 2023. Like the kids that I've known, I've known like, you have known for a couple of years now, but I've started to meet law students that have graduated now like a year or two into practice. And I'm like,
Yeah, you're
there's
getting
probably
old,
some
man.
just like life lessons. Like I'm now, this will be my 10th year out of practice. I'm like, there's probably just some more like, whether it's like, we referenced it earlier. I'm going to the sports betting conference in Secaucus on Wednesday, May 10th, depending on when you're listening to this. I'm happy to give advice. I do a lot of conferences. I speak at a lot of events. A lot of my job now, in addition to billing hours and being a dad and being involved with conduct, a lot of it is building out a sports law practice. And I got advice very early on in my career about how to build a practice, how to network, business development, client development. So, if people are cool with it, we have mainly lawyers that listen to this podcast. Not that not that I'm making like Forbes 40 under 40 lists, but like, I think this stuff's invaluable. And if we could do it through the prism of sports, I always learn better if it's through sports. So, and Conlan, you're kind of like a big deal in sports too now. So like,
Oh, well, thank you.
maybe we
No,
can
I
hang.
wouldn't. Hey, listen, I think, well, we've always been able to hang. It's just your schedule, you got your kids and stuff now. You got your bowling league that you've joined since Saturday night. Yeah. So what town do you live in now?
I'm not going to say that, but
Okay. All right. Well, I was just gonna joke that you were part of
what are
such.
you looking at here?
I was gonna say you're talking about how you're this high praise, and I was gonna say you were the smartest smartest bowler at Westchester Bowling Alley, wherever you went on Saturday night.
Well, I have a question, Conlan. What's your bowl? What do you like? You like one?
What do I score like bowling wise?
120.
Like 120, dude. I listen, Dan. I have no problem putting it in my resume. You said my last ultimatum was the Eagles Chiefs Super Bowl. I would have no problem doing a live stream conduct event where I would outbowl you, Costanzo, Lawson, with not even breaking a sweat. I'd be the classic. Who do you think you are? I am. I'd say 150, 160 stand.
Oh, I almost cursed here. That's impressive. Last night, I'm a decent bowler. I was like between 120 and 140, like pretty consistently.
No.
Then by the end, my arm was gone, and I had a very embarrassing 99 on the
Here come the excuses. So was it
I
multiple games, like, or was your arm done after one game?
No, my arm was done after 3, and then
3. Okay, well, that's respectable.
Yeah, I know.
Your body starts breaking down. You're post 30. You're kind of getting into the last contract of your career, sports wise.
Yeah. No, I'm an old man. Yeah, I'm definitely I'm an old man in sports, but yeah, no, it was a good time. So I guess let's do this a little bit, and then we'll get into some betting stuff. I know Conlan, again, like we'll see where the show goes. I want to make this a little bit more of a personal show, stripped down. Conlan and I mean, there's sports law stuff during the week. We're gonna, someone's gonna cover it, whether it's me, whether it's Mike, Taryn, like behind the scenes, and I want you guys to know, as our listeners, who the different players are, because not that Conlan, you and I were joking beforehand, like at some point, maybe this will be a vehicle whereby people can make a lot of money, right? But my whole thing is about giving people exposure, pumping people up that are putting the work in. I've told this story a couple times. Like I meet people, I meet a lot of law students just from this random world, like I can kind of tell when there's someone that's like it's in their DNA, and
Mm.
maybe I missed the first email, I missed the second email. There's a couple people, Emily Costanzo, who whatever, I'll shout her out. She was knocking on my door. Emily was not gonna
Who?
go my voice out.
Who? I don't think I've heard of that
The girl
person.
Emily, your former
Yeah.
co-host, once upon a time.
She hasn't worked since the Clinton presidential administration, I think. So I don't really know her.
I don't know if Emily was born during the Clinton administration.
Yeah,
Right.
jokes. Well, we'll say the last time Hillary Clinton ran for president. We'll say that.
Yeah,
Maybe that's the last time she worked.
but I try to find the people and identify the people that have, that are really in the space, that are like, they're not just like, not just like a fly in the night, like they really want to be in it. So
Yeah, we've got some
yeah.
good ones. I'll shout a
Yeah,
couple
no,
more out.
we got people.
We got what, Justin Mater, I saw.
Yeah,
Right?
we got a lot of
He's
people.
pretty
So,
good.
yeah.
I'm excited. We got some good up and coming talent, if you will. Oh, we're building the farm system. That's what I like to see. We're building the farm system.
If we're gonna get really morbid and we're gonna trust in the states class, God forbid both Dans go. Who's gonna carry the torch?
I don't know. We're gonna need no logo though, because it's just your two faces. So we're gonna need a new logo.
Behind the
Get
scenes.
Steph on that.
Carly works for us. Carly is I won't say the school, but she's if she tells me I can say, but we have someone that reached out to us from college and said they wanted to, work with some lawyers, and she's thinking about going to law school. So she's like, what can I do for you guys? And I'm like, and I looked at her resume. She had some graphics in her background. I'm like, Carly, you can pick our brains.
Always love graphics.
You need someone for the LSAC, which is like the law school something, admissions council, maybe conference.
I thought it was the LSAT. Oh,
LSAT.
The LSAT is the test.
It's like the way to get admitted to law school. But we're working on a graphic. But I was going to say, like, Con, this might be a succession episode. This might be your audition to move up in the ranks. This is
my audition.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what it is? Me, the little guy. Okay.
Do you know my favorite call I get from you? Can I just make fun of you for a second?
Yeah. Go ahead. Well, I guess that's what this show is going. So please feel free.
Well, people want more of this episode, we'll do them. We'll do a handful of these, and if the feedback's good, we'll continue to roll them out. But Colin, I get a call from Conlan. I'm not going to mention any names, so before you get nervous here, I get a call from Conlan like 2 months ago. Dan, I'm going to get you in a movie, and I'm like, oh, interesting. You're going to get me in a movie. Cool. Colin's like, I got the whole hookup. I got this. I know this guy. I know that guy. It's a done deal. We're going to go to the movie. You're going to be in the movie. You're going to be a movie star. I'm like, sounds good, Conlan. Conlan, that call was like months ago. I was intrigued. I was a little dubious, and I'm a little bit more dubious as of today. So I'll call you out. We didn't plan this. What happened to this movie?
So I cannot relay specifics on this movie at all. It is not at my leisure to say.
It's a sports-based movie.
We'll leave it at that. Sports-based.
Documentary or movie?
Well, we leave it at sports-based is far enough. Let me just tell you this, and I'll leave you with this, and then we'll go past a different subject. Because when I'm at allowed to say more and give more detail, I will. You're certainly still on the call sheet. Let me just leave with this. Avatar took a decade to make, okay? So why don't you pump the brakes? It's been 2 months. You're not going to be a star in this movie, but I'm talking about they were looking for some legal expertise on a particular subject, and I said, you know what? This guy's been good to me. Let me return the favor and try to get this guy his first big break in Hollywood. He's got the hair for it. I thought of you instantly. So listen, why don't you pump the brakes on pressing me a little bit, all right? You don't want to scare off the guy with the connections in Hollywood, okay? So
this whole show is about me pressing you. That's it.
Yeah, I literally get it now. It was just you just got me in here. You sweetened me up. We talked about this about a week ago. We get it going, and all of a sudden, well, let's cut the BS here. Let's get into a little sports topics at least before we talk betting. So the playoffs are going on. Knicks in the Heat series. LeBron, Lakers, Golden State plays later tomorrow. What do we like so far in the NBA? What is something you've seen that you've thought was good, bad, and then maybe a hockey one if you like?
I'm just going to combine my bets because that's really how I watch sports at this point.
You don't even have to bet. Just give me your thoughts on this.
No, I'm not telling people. I have thoughts. I have bets. I watch these games very closely. Okay. Conlan, I think we could do this here. Better Edge are our sponsors. Use our promo code Conlan. Conlan, right? That's our new promo code?
Yes. CONLAN. Sign up, you get $20. You got $20 when you sign up using my name, not Dan's name, but my name. So remember that when you're thinking about, all right, when you listen to this show, who should be on the attack here? Who's giving you free money, right? No. Okay. I'm just kidding.
No,
Go
but
ahead.
wait, but why I bring it up? So I don't necessarily want to be in the business of like giving out picks, but I have gambling group chats. I like to, I could take it, I could dish it. Conlan, obviously, you could do the same. And I'm like, this would be fun if we bet amongst each other. And I'm like, wait, our friends of Better Edge are the social betting platform. Is there a way that, like, in theory, you could kind of like me and Colin can make picks and like our listeners can bet against us and like we
Mhm.
could kind of make it some kind of like a, crowdsourced, fighting us. And they're like, let us work on it. We'll get back to you. And so that was a conversation we had last week. So I think this would be a fun way for everybody to stay engaged in our conduct universe while making some money. Listen, there's always a price to pay for this stuff, but so anyway, here are my thoughts. Ready? I'm a Knicks fan. I mean, I was a Knicks fan. It's a tortured franchise, but I think all of us here in New York, with the exception of like my handful of diehard friends, we're all back on the bandwagon. Everything is setting up for the Knicks to make the conference finals. Everything, and then they throw a stinker to the Heat. They lose game one in the Garden. Like, you know, I don't feel confident at all. And I'm watching like my father-in-law and I were watching the Celtics Sixers. I'm like, even if the Knicks win, if they get past Miami, which I don't think they're going to do, they're going to get slaughtered by either Boston or Philly. And I'm like,
Yeah.
that's it. It's another NBA year down the tank. I mean, am I crazy or am I just like a
No,
disenchanted?
I think that's actually a very astute observation. Yeah, look like, well, we first off would say this, like they had to get past Cleveland, right? Like Stephen A called it out and he said this season would have been an abject failure if the New York Knicks didn't move past round one in Donovan Mitchell and Cleveland Cavaliers, obviously because they were in hot pursuit of Mitchell in the offseason during free agency, but he doesn't get dealt there. So they get Jalen Brunson, who I think has been a star in New York so far. I think you're right. I think there's no chance they come out of the series. I don't even think they get past the Heat. And then if they did, by some miracle, beat Miami, they're going to lose to Boston or Philadelphia. Joel Embiid MVP, Jason Tatum, the Celtics look as good as ever. So I think that series is kind of done. However, let's turn it over to the Lakers Warriors real quick. LeBron, right? LeBron and Steph, exactly what the NBA wanted. Adam Silver is literally counting his lucky stars that this aligned because all the eyeballs on the West Coast and even on the East Coast, those games tip off at 10 o'clock. I'm still locked into like the second quarter, and then I wake up and check the score app and see what finished. But what do you think? Is LeBron? Go ahead.
I'm a big score app guy.
Score app is the best.
Yeah, they don't sponsor us, but
No.
I was at a boring legal event, and I was telling someone about the score. He's like, "Oh, I know the guy that created the score," and I'm like, "Introduce me to this person."
Yes.
That person did well. I've been on the score for maybe, for not that we're plugging the score, but like you could get player specific updates, and you can get like during football season, like
Game-specific
on my
update,
fantasy
yeah.
team. Like I put all my fantasy guys in. It's like I get touchdown alerts per my guy. I don't need to get scoring alerts on every game. I just care about my guys. So
Yeah.
score's awesome.
Where's the way to go?
I mean, on the West, you could tell me any one of those four teams will win the championship. I think all of them are deserving. Golden State, Lakers, I could see anyone emerging there. And then, Nuggets, Suns, they're all good games, but I think for basketball purposes, from a notoriety standpoint, like LeBron in the finals at this age. And
Lakers Celtics finals? What numbers do those do?
I don't need the Celtics in the finals. I wouldn't mind seeing Embiid in the Sixers, but I think I'm like not really a Lakers fan, but like I could see them in the finals. I'm down with that. I don't really feel that strong. I mean, do you have any money on this? I have one of my bets for you.
I have no futures in the NBA. Honestly, like the problem with the NBA to me is that it's just so meaningless until the playoffs start. And then like Joel Embiid's out of game one in Philadelphia, or excuse me, in Boston because he's hurt. It's like the guy won the MVP. He's never around. Go ahead.
So here's what I do. Normal people, like when they go to sleep, they like read and they go to sleep, or they put like some ambient noise machine and they go to sleep, or they put like my wife
What do you
watches
do?
like, Friends to go to sleep, or like reruns of like Vanderpump.
I'm a big TV Land guy late. Like I need Everybody Loves Raymond, Everybody Loves Raymond, King of Queens into Seinfeld. You lock that in.
I think you've exposed yourself. Do you have cable in your house? You're watching TV Land?
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's no cable in the Lust household.
Oh, inflation, cutbacks. I don't
Netflix, Peacock, we got them all. They're basically, it'd be much easier to have cable at this point because I have to like.
I was just gonna say, you add up all those bills. Are you not just paying a cable bill essentially?
No, because when we got rid of our cable bill, like we probably did it about a year ago. It was getting up to like $200, and I'm like, The math's not adding up here. It just doesn't make sense. And I have other ways to watch live sports. And that's really it. It's all I was really watching TV for at that point. But here's what I do to go to bed because I'm a psycho. I pop on the apps and I, this is fine. This is legal what I do. And no one has to get too nervous. But I find long-term futures and I'll parlay them together. And I'm just like, hey, this will be fun a month or two from now, 6 months from now. And I mess around. I got two for you. Ready for this? And I like to do cross-sport parlays just because
so you're like one of those guys that had like all like the championships, like Georgia wins a natty. Like, okay.
That's what I do. So I made this one. I'm not going to tell you what time it is because I think my superpower in life, I don't really sleep. I get, back in the day, I could do 1 hour of sleep. Now, I'm an old man. I need about 3-4 hours, but I'm a night owl. Anybody that knows me can attest to this. So I did this one on March 20th. You ready for this?
Go ahead.
You're going to like this. Max Verstappen to win the Drivers' Championship. Okay. A team from the Eastern Conference to win the NBA Championship. And a team.
You got to say the team.
And no. That's the bet. It's just the Eastern Conference to win.
Okay.
And then the Metropolitan Division to win the Stanley Cup. So Eastern Conference is obvious. Metropolitan Division at the time, right? It was
Rangers,
Devils, Islanders, Rangers, Hurricanes, and Penguins. But Penguins dropped. So it's a little bit taboo as a Rangers fan to do it. But like I was betting on the Rangers, so Colin, that's a nice plus 650. I did it at 4 a.m. It's all live. I love that. I'll give you one more. You ready for this? This is how I find things to root for because I told you, crazy person. This one, you're going to like this one. I did this like a week ago, and this one pays 18-1. The first one I just told you paid 6-1. This one you're going to love. It is completely random. I hit my last leg today before one more. Okay, ready for this? The winner of the Wells Fargo Championship to come from the final grouping, okay? Got that one. Yankees to beat the Guardians a couple days ago, did that. Verstappen to win the Miami Grand Prix, did that. Knicks to beat the Heat in Game 2, did that. Celtics to beat the Sixers, I think that must have been Game 1. And then the Suns to beat the Nuggets in Game 3. The last remaining thing for my 18-1 to hit. You ready for this? This is how random. This is my ADD brain here. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Canadian team to win the NHL championship at plus 135. So
you need the Edmonton Oilers or the Toronto Maple Leafs.
That's it. Now I have random interest on any random day. Could be a 10 o'clock game.
That is so.
I'm a sick individual. People wonder, how do you follow all these sports? Because I have a lot
to me, that's not even. That's as much as like doing a pick six lottery ticket.
That's what it is.
That's what it is. Okay. All right. Well, I feel a little bit that actually. Like there's one of my friend's dads, when we were playing 12-year-old baseball one time, we were playing some team from Piedmont, Delaware, and these people had full green face paint, whatever. But I'll get to the story. He just said the famous line, "People like that make me feel better about myself."
Oh,
so your betting tactic just made me feel a little bit better about myself. No, so I will bet random games, but I'll at least do a little bit of research. I won't just go pick a number here, pick a number there.
What?
Wait, hold on a second. New
you
question.
Think I do
question.
Research? You think I'm just throwing things at the wall?
Yes, I do. I absolutely do. Because that's absolute. The Wells Fargo guy to come from a final grouping. Like, what were your statistics behind that?
Colin, I told you this is what I do to go to bed. I don't just like fling a parlay and it takes 1 second. I go to sleep. It's a lot of research. Got to look at things. That's how I go. I go to my little analytics sites. There's analysis here. I'm not throwing like $100 on a 19-1. There's a little lottery picks here, there, and I think about them. I have my little Excel spreadsheets, keep track.
I need to know the research that goes into it because right now, this is also how I'm translating this into. You're a professor, obviously. I'm looking at you. And sitting in your luxurious office there with a pool table on your rocker, and I'm just imagining a spinning wheel dartboard that you're throwing darts at to grade papers because that's how you're betting. Like I'm just imagining you sitting there like, oh, Betsy Jones, spin the wheel. That's a C+. Because again, that's.
Don't listen. You guys, listen. I can take it. But listen, those are my lottery bets at the end of the night at like 3 a.m. when I just need to like blow some steam off and get my mind off of something else. The real bets, there's a lot of like if I can throw those bets in like my casual lottery tickets, right? Some people play the Powerball. I throw random parlays out, right? I mean, maybe on a random whim. And then there's hedge opportunities. There's a lot of stuff. But
there's a lot to unpack there.
I need
All right,
rooting
so
interest. That's how we do it. Colin, what do you do? What are you betting? Like $10 pick twos? Like, what are you doing?
No, I'm not doing. If it's a parlay, I mean, obviously, I'll lower my units. Like today, I have an 8-teamer, which was dead after the first game because the Orioles, Peacock, love Peacock. You mentioned them earlier. They have the Sunday leadoff spot now, which has MLB games starting on Sunday mornings at 11:35 a.m. So you wake up, you get your coffee, your donut, you sit down, boom, Braves Orioles on TV. Great game. Obviously, Orioles very sneaky. Throw them out there right now. I'm saying on May 7th. Look for the Orioles to make a run this season. Great young talent, Adley Rushman, Gunnar Henderson, good players. But no, so they lost. They're the first leg of the parlay. They lose on a walk-off today, 3-2. Now, the next 5 teams in a row, cash, 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 cash. And so I'm just stewing in my own juices because I'm like, look at this. I had this. This was like 15 to win 3,000.
What
Like,
did you just say?
I'm
What was the
stewing.
expression you just said?
I was stewing in my own juices because I
What is that, like a
sweat to
soup
put
analogy?
I sweat to put these in. So you know what I mean? The sweat coming off me. Listen, man, I'm doing research. I'm grinding the axe to try to get an angle here. But listen, you mentioned Better Edge, so I'm gonna shout our friends out one more time. I'm gonna give the listeners here on our first episode of the weekly wrap up.
We're giving picks. We're giving picks on the show.
We're giving picks because again, I feel bad. I'm not going to tell you, hey, it's going to be sunny next Thursday, and I have rain showers scheduled for next Friday, like you do. But no, so I'll give you 2. We're going to go NBA action. So the Knicks obviously lose Game 3 in Miami. Game 4 tomorrow night, back down in there in South Beach. The Knicks are getting 4. I'm not even going to take the spread. Give me the Knicks outright at plus 163 on Better Edge. And then give me the Los Angeles Lakers -3 on Better Edge. That's at plus 101. 2 picks right there. Lakers, Knicks. I'm going to go on NBA Blue Bloods, old fashioned. What do you like?
There's a game I like to play. It's called Fade Conlan, but I got to root for the Knicks here. So I'm not the picks guy here. I am what'd you call me? The stewing in the no. You're the stewing.
No, I'm stewing. Yeah, I'm stewing. I don't know what you are.
I'm a profitable bettor.
You're scattered.
I got my I did my tax returns. I had to reach out to FanDuel, my total bets for the year. I'm a profitable bettor. So it doesn't really matter, right? There's a method to the madness. I have a great, Colin, you want to know my big bet on the whole year? You're going to love this one. Ready for this?
I don't know. Yeah. If the groundhog saw a shadow or not, what was it?
No, listen, what do you bet you bet the heads tails at the Super Bowl? Is that you?
Yeah. The length of the anthem. That's one of my
No, there's a lot of thought into this one. And if you're doing your real research, you got to, listen, why Better Edge is a fun site, why we use it, and not just because they're sponsored the show, not because I'm seeing them on Wednesday night. It's a crowd-funded site. People can put different lines up. So I was looking for a line earlier before baseball season. I had a hunch that my guy, Pete Alonso, I'm not a Mets fan, but I do like Pete Alonso. I looked at the numbers and I'm like, he's being priced wrong to win RBI crown. So I looked at a bunch of different sites. Better Edge wasn't offering futures on RBIs. I'm not going to say the price I got. I got it at the best price that was available in any book. And look at Pete Alonso, like 35 games in, he's got 30 RBIs. He's about on like 150 RBI pace. And if your boy hits on Pete Alonso, so if people are watching Pete Alonso, you can think about me somewhere. I have notifications on every Pete Alonso at bat. RBI, Mr. RBI crown. And people can look it up.
Polar Bear, Pete Alonso.
Polar Bear back in the day. Do you remember Evan Gattis? Remember the catcher?
Absolutely.
He was like El Oso Blanco. He was also the Polar Bear.
Didn't Evan Gaddis just go off on like a random Twitter rant like
he did.
a couple weeks ago? He looked like he had a couple shots of bourbon and kind of just got a little trigger happy on the Twitter there. That
allegedly.
Very bizarre. Allegedly. Yeah. No, that wasn't Evan Gaddis. Yeah, okay. Allegedly so.
Yeah, but he's the original El Oso Blanco, unless we're missing one. But yeah, but I put some work into that. But I don't know. We don't have any real. Actually, can I tell you some other fun stuff, Conlan? I don't want this episode.
Go ahead.
So
we're wrapping after this story. So go ahead.
Yeah,
finish this off.
So listen. Again, this is a Sports Law podcast. If you're listening to this, you're obviously a sports fan. Some of the episodes are going to be really heavy, right? When we go into McAfee and federal removal, and we're talking about Snyder, we're talking about Watson. We're always going to talk about that, but once a week, maybe it's going to be the Monday show. We're going to try to recap the bigger sports events. We'll see how it goes. Maybe some fun stuff. I did want to do not a shameless plug, but a big thank you to you guys. When we started this podcast 3 years ago, I was legitimately, I don't know. I imagine most of you know the story at this point, but I was an insurance defense lawyer. I was just doing this stuff part-time. And, over the last 4 years, I've gone from insurance defense, which is a fancy way of saying I was a lawyer for insurance companies, which is a fun. I don't know if necessarily fun is the right word, but
It sounds less fun than anything I can
sounds less
imagine.
fun. But
That sounds like taking the SATs again as a adult.
right, but I don't know, if I wasn't involved in sports, but I was fantasy baseball commissioner. I was like, you know what, I'll coach my kids in soccer. That'll be my fix. And then,
Okay.
I don't know how old I was at that point. I was like 6 years out of school. I'm like, you know what? Let's do an full out blitz here. Let's see if I can turn the day, the legal side into the sports side. And it started, early on, started kind of here. So from there, I run the sports practice here. We work with a number of agents across the space. We now work with schools. There's maybe a professional team that's coming in. We're again not going to mention anything, but we work with some other individuals in sports. I can't breach any client confidences. Shout out, I think I mentioned them on the last show. Shout out to LAA, client of the show, friend Zach Hiller. They got Zay Flowers drafted number 22 overall, and Fordham University, best basketball season in many years. So those are the only two clients that kind of asked and kind of we had a conversation about promoting the school, promoting the agency. But other than that, I don't really speak about my clients, but I know it wouldn't have happened. A lot of them listen to the show. It wouldn't have happened because of the show. So I want to make sure I'm not here every couple of weeks. I want to make sure I'm here. So Conlan, I feel like this dry run went okay. You didn't completely screw things up. I'm cool doing this with you again next week if you're down for it.
Yeah, man, I think we're ready to rock again. Like I said, Sunday nights, obviously now I got a big boy job too. So look, we're putting our athletes in our best interest and their best interest. But yeah, every week sit down, we'll talk a little gambling, we'll talk life. Obviously you're in different stages, you got 2 kids, married, I'm out there playing the field. That we'll see where when the show ends.
Are you single?
I'm a single eligible man.
Since when?
Here. Dude, believe me. Listen, let's just go with single for now.
We're not allowed to talk about this on the show.
No, we're not talking about any of this. No, we're not
last
talking about
question.
any of this.
Do you watch? You kind of seem to me. I know that beard and mustache are trying to throw me off a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You're like a Vanderpump Rules guy, right?
What?
You're like a Jax Taylor Vanderpump Rules guy.
Never seen. No idea what the reference is.
I'm not buying it, but next show.
Cool. No, I know this is actually coming in. This is new. I normally have been clean shaven my entire life, but
you're trying to avoid this. The best topic in all things television right now is, listen, I've added myself 2 weeks ago with the Vanderpump Rules commentary. My wife's favorite show. You got to support your wife. Happy wife, happy life.
There you go. See,
there are comments.
Happy Conlan. That's the way I look at it.
If there are comments here, maybe we'll bring Steph on. Steph Weissenberger. She's now big time too. She's Major League Baseball. We'll bring her on, Conlan. Maybe we'll make you do some homework, watch some Vanderpump Rules, and then you can enter our world momentarily. What do you think?
Okay, I look forward to it. That's fair. Fair enough. Okay. Anything if Steph's on it, I'm with it. You not so much, but Steph, she talks, I listen. Is that wrap us up?
That's number one. I met Steph. She was a 2L at New York Law School. Now Steph's working for Major League Baseball. These people are moving up and up.
So are you saying you're the common denominator here? Is that what you're saying? These people are moving up because they met Dan Lust and now their career is into the stratosphere and ascension?
I think one might say that. I didn't say that. I think people that go the next level in terms of putting themselves out there, in terms of writing and, getting out there and going to events, that's going to be the common denominator. That's always what I say. Get yourself out there. Rome wasn't built in a day. You build up that network. You got to hit if Stephanie at any point feels comfortable with telling her story on the show, Stephanie is a grinder. That DNA is the common denominator. And Conlan, how about you? I remember the cold email I got from you once upon a time. Oh, yeah. I was the guy that sat on the couch when you used to do those shows with Tony Bruno.
That's what I was. I was the couch guy.
Getting it from you.
Yeah. I remember. Absolutely. Got to shoot your shot. That's what the
and it works.
Moral of the story. Shoot your shot.
Yeah. What is it? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take? Wayne Gretzky?
Yes. Wayne Gretzky, Michael Scott. Yes, indeed. Yes.
That's on there. Let's end it. This is a cool, 40-minute show, give or take. Conlan, you're the man. Let's wrap here. And we will see everyone next time. Hopefully my voice will be back at that point. Another episode of Conduct Detrimental.